Hi guys, Silent Assassin here, and welcome to a video that I didn't think that I would be making. I haven't done a review in a while, and I kind of like doing the reviews because I can just sit here and do a commentary. The video that you're watching right now is me in the director mode of GTA 5 with the character from Los Santos Wars, Mitchell Tyler, who is apparently at the moment cosplaying as the 12th Doctor, or 13th if you're counting them correctly. Um, it's not perfect, but it's the best I could do. Um, and I know that this video will be talking about the Sixth Doctor, but try making the Sixth Doctor in GTA Online, and you're gonna have a hard time. Right, let's get straight into it. This video I'm going to be reviewing the Trial of the Time Lord, which spans the Sixth Doctor, or Colin Baker's, last 14 episodes, and it was all one big uh, story. That's it. Couldn't even remember the word story. And the story consists of the mysterious planet, Time Wrap. I say Time Wrap all through the video, but it's actually Time Warp. Sorry. Terror of the Terror of the Autons. No, that's a different story. Terror of the Vervoids and the Ultimate Foe. I'm going to go through each episode individually and give my opinion on it. A lot of people on my channel won't like this video, but please don't dislike it just because it's something that you don't like. Bit contradicting what I just said there, but yeah. If it's just not your thing, then leave. But if it is your thing and you genuinely don't like the video, then please dislike it, letting me know that it's not a very good review. Let's just get straight into it. I bought the Trial of the Time Lords from HMV, which I'll probably put a link to in the description if I can be bothered and if my computer works, for £17.99, which for four discs and 350 minutes approximately. That's not terrible. Not brilliant, but not terrible. We start off with the Mysterious Planet. This one I watched with my grandma. Now, a bit of context. I normally spend weekends at my grandparents'. I have since I was really young. And I always enjoy it over there. We either go out on a Sunday or Saturday and go around like a bigger shopping district and just have a walk or have a look somewhere, and it's fun. And I stay there overnight. And in my bedroom I have a TV. And that's where I do most of my watching. If I ever watch like a TV series or a box set or anything, I normally watch it there because I have nothing else to distract me. Like say if I'm watching it at home, I have my computer, my PS4, my 360, Lego, fucking shit ton of Lego. I have all these other things that distract me. Even if I turn off everything else, I've still got like my DS next to my bed, my phone, and I can't concentrate on it properly. I have a weird thing like that. I don't think it's mental, but people call it a mental disability. Um, so I tend to watch things at my grandparents, and my TV in my bedroom broke at my grandparents. So I was like, shit, because I bought quite a few discs that day. I also bought South Park, the movie, or Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I was watching it with my grandma, and the first, well, I'm going to call it the first episode, even though it's the first four episodes, but one story inside a bigger story. This is already getting confusing, and I'm considering restarting it, but I'm going to soldier on, because I think that's where the comedy comes in, of me making myself look like a total idiot while trying to review something that no one cares about, especially in the Doctor Who fandom, because it's the Sixth Doctor. Anyway, so, start off the Mysterious Planet. It was alright. I liked it. It was pretty good. I liked the enemy. It looked a bit like an 80s robot, but that's what it is. It's an 80s robot. And that's what the main villain was. It didn't really make didn't really make much sense when it started talking about the Earth being moved by the Time Lords as some sort of big cover-up conspiracy where the world ended. That didn't make much sense because of the reboot of Doctor Who, and that sort of jigged things around. Doctor Who contradicts itself like all the time, so I don't really mind too much. But it was a bit weird. Like, we saw the end of the Earth on End of the World episode 2 of series 1 of the new revived series of Doctor Who, and that said that the sun expands and that's why it destroyed it. But this would have you believe that the Earth was moved somewhere else out of the solar system, renamed to see if it says on the back of the box, Ravalox. Renamed to Ravalox and was destroyed supposedly by a giant fireball that was sent by the Time Lords. So the continuity is a bit iffy, but doesn't really bother me. There's not really much I can say about this. This is probably... Ooh, I was going to say it's probably one of my favourites. To be honest, I think it is. Maybe. I don't know. I'd give it at least a 6, maybe a low 7. So yeah, there's my first. I've decided I'm going to do quite a few edits in this in the clips that I'm showing on screen. Maybe not right now, but I've got some ideas for some edits on this video. So just keep watching the video. It's not just a commentary all the time. But yeah, I'd give this one about a high 6, a low 7. Not brilliant, but not god awful. Do apologise, my phone just crashed. Okay. Next episode, Mind Wrap. This one took me the longest to watch. I tried watching this at my grandparents'. This was a week after, so this is the next week. Like, I watched that one in the first week. Started watching... No, I didn't watch Time Wrap. I watched Mysterious Planet. Then the next week, I started watching Time Wrap. Or... is it Time Warp? I think it's Time... No. Oh, that's... Oh, fuck. I'll have to bleep that bit out now. That's Dabby from Uninstalled just called me on Messenger. Do apologise. I thought I muted him, to be honest, but oh well. Yeah. I think I would have probably liked this one more if I would have seen the other episode with Syl, because this one's got Syl, that slug thing, and apparently there was another episode with Syl, but I can't for the life of me remember what it's called. I'll probably put it as a thing on screen now, if I'm not lazy. But yeah, it was all right. The ending with Perry, where fucking spoilers throughout the whole thing, where Perry dies but doesn't, was a bit shitty, and the whole story was kind of shit. Like the Sixth Doctor was turned into a dick, but that was like the Matrix lying to everyone. And the Matrix as a concept was completely just... I have no fucking idea what happened with that. It made no sense to me personally. But that was Mind Wrap. Or Warp. I don't really care. Terror of the Vervoids. Take out the Vervoids and set it on Earth with humans. And this was genuinely a really good murder mystery. I mean, it was a good murder mystery in its own right. And this is why I said that I don't know which one my favourite was, because I like all of them for different reasons. I like Mysterious Planet because it was a decent story on its own without the trial bits. Where oh, by the way, the Doctor's on trial. I'll get to that bit after. I'll do the main plots of each episode individually, then I'll get to the plots of, like, the second plot. So there's the plot of the episode, and then there's the plot of the Doctor that's on trial, i.e. the trial of a Time Lord. Yeah, but it was a good murder mystery. Mel was a bit weird. Sort of throwing her in the deep end, like, just, we don't know how he met and everything else, and then at the end of this, when apparently they hadn't met yet, but they did. Yeah, Mel was weird in this last bit, because because obviously, the Doctor was taken out of his time stream in Mind Wrap. Like, that story of Mind Wrap, that's when he was taken out, and you can see him get taken out, and that's where he left Perry. But then in the next story, he said, oh, I'm going to show you a clip of my future. And then he's got Mel. But then in the next episode, Mel comes as a witness, but he hasn't met Mel yet. But then Mel goes with him, causing a paradox. But we're not going to talk about that yet. We'll talk about that later. Terror of the Vervoids. Good murder mystery. I loved how the Vervoids were in it almost none. They were sort of only in it to, well, as a side plot, which is weird for Doctor Who having the aliens as the side plot, because normally you have the aliens as the main focus, and then you have like, well, the enemy being the alien, and then the Doctor beating the alien. But in this one, he has to beat everyone else. Well, not beat in this case, because this is the olden Doctor, not the new revived series where he beats everyone. Um, yeah, it's a bit weird having sort of the Vervoids as the secondary character in a story called Terror of the Vervoids, which you don't meet until like part 3 or 4, like properly. But it was an okay story, I suppose. I like it for the murder mystery, and that's about it. Right, before I go on to the last part, which was the ultimate foe, which is where it sort of comes all into the now, because all of these bits were either from like the Mysterious Planet story. Like, oh right, I'm going to describe this. The Doctor is on trial at the start of Mysterious Planet, and then the Valeyard, which is the main villain of the present, I'm going to call it the present, of the present story where he's getting trialed, or tried, I suppose is the correct terminology. I just noticed that I haven't rated the rest of the. Fuck it. I'll put my views on the screen. So the Doctor gets taken out of time in Mysterious Planet. Then the Valeyard tries him with evidence from the Mysterious Planet story. Like, they go back in time to show one of his past adventures and how he breaks the first law of time, which is don't fuck up the time. And then in the second part, which is Mind Wrap, he shows more evidence. And it cuts between the past and the present all through episodes, which in a lot of cases doesn't really make sense, to me at least, because it's just there to remind the audience that, like, oh look, we're still doing this story. Like, these stories could honestly have been their own separate thing. Like, they could have just been random Doctor Who stories without the trial bit in. But I do like how all these separate stories have an overarching story on top of it. But it does kind of get a little bit forcive when the Doctor stops the recording to say, oh, this is preposterous. What does this have to do with anything? Doctor, can you please... And then the Inquisitor, which is the sort of the judge, she's called the Inquisitor, which makes me think that all Time Lords just have their job description, and that's it. They don't actually have a real name. Like, they've got the Doctor, the Valeyard, the Inquisitor, the Master. You don't have, like, real names. Anyway, off topic. Then the Inquisitor's like, Doctor, must you interrupt? And then he's like, yes, I'm sorry, Inquisitor. And then they press play on the video again, just to remind you that you're still in a courtroom. But, yes, as I was saying, all of them build up to the trial. And then in the last 2 episodes, which is the Ultimate Foe, which I watched yesterday, it was alright ending. Having only 2 parts, opposed to every other one having 4, was alright. I did like it that it was more contained. Some of the plots in it was a bit shitty. Like, there was one character that... one of the characters from the first story, the Mysterious Planet, also comes back as a witness, because Mel and a character called Glitz comes back as witnesses, which he's met Glitz, but he hasn't met Mel yet, so that was a bit weird, causing a bit of a paradox when they leave together at the end. But yeah, the Ultimate Foe. Let's just review this one real quick. This is so unorganised, but I don't care. I'm going through with it because I'm determined. The Ultimate Foe was okay. It was mainly set in the Matrix, which I didn't really get, because, like, the Time Lord Matrix, it was weird. I don't know how to describe it. Like, if you thought about something hard enough, it would happen. But the Matrix also it's like a recorder from the TARDIS to record all the stories that we saw in the last episodes. and it's like a data bank, but you can go inside it, and the Master's trapped in there for some reason, and the Master reveals that the Valiard, massive spoiler, and it should come into the new series of Doctor Who, and this is who I was hoping it was in the vault in Doctor Who in Series 10. The Valiard was the 13th, well, somewhere between the 12th and 13th incarnation of the Doctor. Why haven't we seen the Valiard yet? Chris Chibnall, take notes. Valiard. Keep continuity together. It may have been a shit series with the Sixth Doctor. I don't know, I haven't actually seen any more of the Sixth Doctor. I've only seen this, and this was actually pretty good in my opinion. So I'm probably going to get more of the Sixth Doctor DVDs, because I've started a classic Doctor Who collection. You can't deny that it's still continuity. Please, bring the Valiard back, Chris Chibnall. It's a good idea. Right. Anyway, the Valiard. He's actually a really good villain. I liked him until he, like, right near the end, he took off the mask thing. Like, he was playing a different person. The Doctor took off his mask, and it was like it was weird. Somehow, like, this fat guy became the Valiard, who was quite skinny bloke. It was weird. But there were a few things that didn't make sense, like if the Valiard's from the Doctor's future, wanting to kill the Doctor, like the whole trial is for the Doctor's life, and if he gets tried as guilty, he's going to get killed. But then the Valiard... Alright, let me see if I can piece this together. The Valiard was asked by the Time Lords to get rid of the Doctor to cover up what happened on Ravalox, which they caused, and in return, the Valiard would get the Doctor's remaining regenerations. But that surely would fuck up the Valiard, because the Valiard is the Doctor in the future. So if he takes the Doctor's lives from the past, he will never have been those Doctors in order to become the Valiard. And that's my biggest problem with this. Not the shitty budget, because some of the effects in this was awful, but it was like funny awful. Like, I laughed at it and I was like, really? That's an effect you used? But they were alright. I didn't mind the effects, I didn't mind the robots, I didn't even mind the Sixth Doctor's clothes, which I want. I want to dress up as the Sixth Doctor. His jacket is bomber. All in all, the Trial of the Time Lord, Trial of a Time Lord, sorry. I keep saying Trial of the Time Lord. No, it's Trial of a Time Lord. Is an okay story. Not as good as some of the ones that I've seen, but as a box set, I'm happy to keep it on my shelf. And if you're a Doctor Who fan, if you're a modern Doctor Who fan, I would recommend you watching this, but go in with an open mind that this is from the 80s. And the intro alone to most of the 80s Doctor Who episodes, starting with Tom Baker's one and then through to Peter Davidson's, were a bit funky. Just going by the intro alone, you know what sort of retro camp you're going into. If you're a classic Doctor Who fan, then you've probably already seen this. And I've probably made lots of you very angry. If you're watching this, which you're probably not. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I've talked too much, I've rambled, and none of you have probably stayed this long. But if you have, thank you very much. Please like, comment, subscribe. I've been Sat Assassin, you've been yourselves, and yeah. Bye!